teacher. I want to teach you today, that is 7th standard science subject chapter 1, that is nutrition in plants. So first of all, I would like to ask you a few questions. What is nutrition? What do you mean by it? Why is it necessary? And the third question is, human beings need nutrition. Like human beings, plants also require nutrition. So students, as you are not in front of me, let me give you the answer of these questions. So what was our first question? Yes, what do you mean by nutrition? Means what is nutrition? So the answer is, the nutrition is the process by which organism take food and utilization of it. Means organisms are taking in food and that food is used. Now the next question is, why is nutrition necessary? So as we all know, we require nutrition for our day-to-day activities. We require nutrition for growth and development. And the third question is, as human beings need nutrition, plants also require nutrition? So the answer is yes, plants also require nutrition. So now you will ask, ma'am, how we get nutrition? So we learn since long that we get nutrition from nutrients. Can you say which are the nutrients? Yes, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals, these all are nutrients. And by eating these in food, we get nutrition. And as we get nutrition, we get energy to do our daily activities like running, walking, studying, reading, playing, etc. So let's now move towards our chapter, that is nutrition in plants. So as we say that nutrition is the process of taking food by an organism and utilization by its body. Utilization means use of it. Food is getting inside our body and it is used by our body for daily activities. Then there are two modes of nutrition. Nutrition are of two types, that is autotrophic and heterotrophic. So again you will ask, ma'am, autotrophic. So here the word itself suggests auto means self and trophic means nourishment. So self-nourishment means the organism which can make their own food by themselves are known as autotrophic organisms. And the process, the nutrition in which organism can make their own food by themselves is known as autotrophic nutrition. Again, auto means self, trophic means nourishment. So we can say that plants are known as autotrophs. As plants can make their own food by themselves, plants are known as autotrophs. Now another type of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. So hetero, the word has two words. Hetero means depend on others. And trophic means again nourishment. So the organism which depends on other for their food, for their nourishment, are known as heterotrophs. And the nutrition in which organism depends on other for their food are known as heterotrophic nutrition. So again, hetero means depend on others, trophic means nourishment. So here we can say that human beings and other animals are examples of it. So again, one question is arised. Do human beings require someone's help to cook their food? Do our mother go to our neighbors and ask for food, making food? So that is no. No, it is yes. Yes, we require someone's help. Whose help? Neighbors? No. We require the help of plants. We can make our food from plants, or we can make our food from animals. If we want to make the chapati, obviously we require wheat, and we get wheat from plants. So yes, we can say that human beings and animals are heterotrophs. Means they depend on others for their food. Now again, let's come to autotrophic nutrition. As we say that plants are known as autotrophs. They can make their own food. So the question is, how can plants make their own food? What is the process by which plants can make their own food? So we all know, since long we are studying that by photosynthesis plants can make their own food. So what is photosynthesis? So again, photosynthesis is the word made up of two words. Photo means light, and synthesize means to prepare or to make. So photosynthesis is the process by which plants can make their own food with the help of sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water. So this process is known as photosynthesis. Again, photo means light and synthesis means to prepare or to make. Means plants can make their own food with the help of sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water. So as we know, photosynthesis is the process by which plants can make their own food. So how can plant make their own food? We know that plants have chlorophyll. In which part of the plant have chlorophyll? Yes, you are right. Plants have chlorophyll in leaves. So chlorophyll, we know it is a green colored pigment which gives green color to the leaves of the plant. So plants have chlorophyll. This chlorophyll has the capacity to capture the sunlight. Okay, so they take the energy from the sun and with the help of carbon dioxide and water, they will prepare their food. So once again, chlorophyll, it is present in the leaf. Sunlight, that is plants will take energy from it, and by using carbon dioxide, see here I am writing the equation, chemical formula of carbon dioxide, that is CO2, C for carbon, O for oxygen. So carbon dioxide and water, that is H2O. So by carbon dioxide and water, the plants will make their food. So again there is a question, ma'am, how plants will take water? As we know, in roots are in the soil, and from the soil roots will absorb this water. So this water will reach to the leaves. So how they will reach to the leaves? Yes, the answer is in plants there are pipe-like structures known as vessels. So through these vessels, water from the roots will reach to the leaves of the plants. And plants take carbon dioxide from the surroundings, that is from the air. Plants take carbon dioxide from the air through stomata. You might heard this word. Stomata are nothing but the small pores present on the leaves, on the surface of the leaves. So through these small pores, plants take carbon dioxide from the air. So by using carbon dioxide from the air, water from the root, chlorophyll in the leaves and light energy from the sun, plants will make their own food, and this process is known as photosynthesis. Here you can see the figure. Here there is a figure of plant from the roots. Roots are absorbing H2O, that is water. From roots, water is reached to the leaves. In leaves there is a green color pigment known as chlorophyll. Leaves will take carbon dioxide from the surroundings through tiny pores, that is stomata, and oxygen they will remove out. And from the sun, plants get energy. So again I am repeating, chlorophyll has the capacity to take the energy from sunlight, and by this energy, with the help of carbon dioxide and water, plants will make their food, which is known as carbohydrates. So here is the equation of photosynthesis, that is carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. See, here you can write sunlight here and chlorophyll here. This is not upon. This is the meaning of this is chlorophyll and sunlight is used in photosynthesis, right? So in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, plants will make their food, which is known as carbohydrates. Okay, plus oxygen is released back into the air. So we know that plants give us oxygen and we give plants carbon dioxide. As we know, the types of carbohydrate is a starch. Here you can see starch is a type of carbohydrate. So starch is made here. In the place of carbohydrates, you can write any of the word. You also can write food or you also can write starch. It is nothing but a type of carbohydrate. So starch is a type of carbohydrate. Now another question. Ma'am, how carbohydrate is made? So the answer is carbohydrates are made up of hydrogen. That is, the symbol of hydrogen is H. It is made up of oxygen, that is O, and it is made up of carbon, that is C. So carbohydrates are made up of three, that is hydrogen, carbon and oxygen. Now from these carbohydrates, another nutrients like fats, proteins, vitamins are made in the plants. As we all know, if we do not get all the nutrients, we will be weak. So plants also require all the nutrients, that is fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals. So from these carbohydrates, plants can make other nutrients. So another question is, proteins are made up of nitrogen. So ma'am, in carbohydrates there is no nitrogen. So what happens? Okay, the answer is we know that in the air there is so much nitrogen, that is 78% nitrogen is present. Do plants inhale that nitrogen? No. Plants cannot use that nitrogen. Instead, what they can do? They can use the nitrogen which is present inside the cell. So again question arises, how nitrogen is inside the soil? Some bacteria are there which can absorb the nitrogen from air and they will fix this nitrogen into the soil. So this nitrogen plants can absorb with water through roots, and by this nitrogen plants can make proteins. So here we have completed the whole topic of photosynthesis. So now students, we will move towards heterotrophic nutrition. As we have discussed earlier, hetero means depends on other and trophic means nourishment. So the nutrition in which organisms depend on other for their food, for their nourishment, are known as heterotrophic nutrition. The examples are all the animals and human beings. So now let's go deep inside it. Heterotrophic nutrition has 4 types, that is parasitic nutrition, insectivorous plants, saprotrophic nutrition and symbiotic nutrition. Let's study each in detail. First, parasitic nutrition. So parasite means which live on other. For example, if any organism is taking food and nutrition from other organism, then it is known as parasite. For example, mosquito. So mosquito will suck the blood from human beings and they get healthy. So mosquito is a parasite. Like that, parasitic organism take the nutrition from other, which is known as host, and it will become healthy. So it is known as parasitic nutrition. The example of parasitic nutrition is Cuscuta. Cuscuta is a plant which is known as Amarbil also. The plant is yellow thread-like structure. It does not have roots, it does not have stem, it does not have leaves. It is just a yellow thread-like structures which wound around the tree, which is known as host, and take all the nutrients from that host. So host become weak. When this host does not have any nutrition in its body, this plant will make the another tree as a host. So the example of parasitic nutrition is Cuscuta. Now next is insectivorous plants. The word itself suggests insectivorous means these plants eat insects. So how is it possible? Insectivorous plants, when insects sit on insectivorous plants, these insectivorous plants eat them and digest them. These plants generally grow in the area where nitrogen is less. So again question arises, ma'am, why is it so? So the answer is insectivorous plants grow in the place where nitrogen is less. Means these plants take nitrogen by digesting the insects. So one of the example of this is pitcher plant. Another example is sundew. So here there is a diagram of pitcher plant. This is a pitcher shape, that is jug-like shape, in which when insect come to suck the nectar We know insects are taking nutrition by sucking, by absorbing the nectar from any of the flower. So here, as insect come to suck the nectar, this lead will shut down, and the insect fall inside this pitcher. Here at the end of the pitcher there is digestive juice. So as we all know, digestive juice, name itself suggests it will digest. It will digest the insect. If insect tries to escape from the pitcher, these are small hair-like structure which are like this, downwards. So if insect try, it will sleep and again fall into digestive juice. So digestive juice will digest this insect, and then all the nutrients is taken by the pitcher plant. Once again, pitcher plant is an insectivorous plant which eat insects to take nitrogen as the main nutrient. The third heterotrophic nutrition is saprotrophic nutrition. Sapro means dead and decaying matter, and trophic means, we already know, that is nourishment. Means these organisms take nourishment from the dead and decaying matter. Did you have seen the growth of fungi on the bread in monsoon? Yes, obviously. You will say, ma'am, we have seen that black color spot present on the surface of our chapati or sweets, anything, right? So what is that? That is nothing but fungi. So this fungi is an example of saprotrophic nutrition. So here these organisms take the nourishment, take the nutrition from dead and decaying matter. I think you all know, you all have seen mushrooms. So mushrooms are also example of this. We can see the mushroom in damp places or the dark places where there is sunlight is not reached, right? So it is also an example of saprotrophic nutrition. Now let's move towards the next nutrition, that is symbiotic nutrition. Symbiosis means, in simple language we can say friendship. You will say, ma'am, in science friendship comes? Yes. Here one organism will give something to other, and other organism will give something to the first. Here the example of symbiotic nutrition is lichens. So lichens is nothing but the relationship between a fungi and an algae. So here algae, as we all know, it is green in color, so it can make its own food with the process of photosynthesis. So algae will give food to fungus, and fungus in return will give shelter and nutrients to algae. So there is a friendship between fungus and algae. Algae gives food to fungus, and fungus provides shelter and water and nutrients to algae. So it is an example of symbiotic nutrition. Again, symbiotic means friendship. The next topic is replenishment of nutrients. So if continuously all the plants and animals take nutrition from the soil, then how again and again we will get it? If we again and again consume it, then there is no nutrients after some time. But no, it is not so. How it will work? It is just a cycle. Okay, as plants are taking nutrition from the soil, plants grow, develop, then when plants die, when animals die, all these nutrients are again mixed into the soil, and then again another plants will get this nutrition. Thank you.